Record. All right, we are recording. Today is September 19th. Dang. September 19th. So the Team Boom calls used to be on Wednesdays. We just moved them to Tuesdays, 8 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to be kind of co-leading them along with my sister, Andrea Wallace. I'm going to jump in like always. We always start with recognition. I think recognition is one of the 4 vital behaviors they recently added. So we're going to jump into recognition, and then we're going to have some of the top leaders on Team Boom hop on here and share some of their best stuff. A few of them got together. They went on a retreat together this past weekend in the Berkshires up in Massachusetts. So they're going to get on here and share some of their top takeaways from that event, which is going to be really cool to hear. But first, let me hop into some recognition. So, month of September, these coaches have already hit Success Club at Success Club 6, which means if you're at Success Club 6, it means you have 3 people that have ordered a challenge pack from you or Shakeology Home Direct. You get 2 Success Club points for every challenge pack or Shakeology Home Direct. So these coaches at Success Club 6, they've sold 3 so far this month. So we got Ashley Dyer. Is the right date? Yeah. Ashley Dyer, Mary Beth Darling, Joe Wagner, Casey Bachlet with 8 Success Club points. So they've helped 4 people. We got Kelsey O'Connor, Olivia Brackett, and Kelly Marks. And then at Success Club 10, which is a lot of people's main goal, to try to help those 5 people hit Success Club 10, kind of your 5 best friends, those 5 people you're going to really work together with all the next month. They're going to be your best friends for that month to really give them that amazing experience. So at Success Club 10 already this month, we have Cassie Schmelzinger with 16, helping over at 8 people she's helped so far this month commit. We got Carrie Steelman Schmidt leading the pack at Success Club 16. Killing it there. All right, and what do we got? We're a little bit more than halfway through the month. We still got another half of the month. I know some of you guys have some fall challenges coming up. I know my sister Amy Reelman, hers is called like the fall DeFluff challenge, I think she's calling it. So that's pretty cool. I think it starts at the end of September. Mine's going to be starting October 8th, or I think it's the 9th, that second Monday of the month. And then the deadline for people to order is going to be September 30th, kind of the end of this month. So whatever you guys are deciding to do, let us know, and maybe we can kind of team up and do some of these together, and come up with some fun names like Fall to Fluff. So that is Success Club so far for September. The other recognition I'm going to do is the weak leg team volume. So these are the coaches on the team that are building a team of coaches. So every coach has a right leg and a left leg. So when you guys enroll a coach of your own, you're going to either place that coach on your left leg, your left side of your business, or your right leg, your right side of your business. And if you're not sure what that means, it's totally it's okay. You just talk to your coach that signed you up. When you go to sign a coach of your own, you'll be able to just ask them, did I just get signed out? No, it says someone's trying to sign in on my name. What? An alias, a doppelganger, trying to get in on this. And the team volume, like your team bonus, is based on how strong your legs are. So there's kind of 2 main ways you earn as a coach. The first is your retail commission. So the customers ordering directly from you. Those are your personal orders. That's your retail commission. The second way you earn is what's called a team bonus, and that's based on how well your team does. And so that's based on how strong your legs are, how strong the coaches in your left and right leg are. So this recognition, this weak leg team volume, I'll see if I can share my screen for a second so you guys can see what this looks like. This gets posted in the group every Thursday because the week ends Wednesday at midnight, and then this is going to show up in the Boom Fam every Thursday, and it's going to show everyone's weak leg volume, for that previous week. So the coaches that had over 300 team volume points in the weak leg, we got Jeff Leese, Cassie Schmelzinger, Keefe Reed, Tara Brenner, Jennifer Reeve, Beth McDonald, Tyler Smith, Craig Schmidt, Nicoletta Sidowitz, Brittany Dimmick, Lauren Kellum, Joe Wagner, Melissa Hollenbeck, Melissa Virgil, Brittany Miller, and Delaney Cleason. So these are coaches that are all starting to now not only hit Success Club and build relationships with their clients and help their clients have amazing relationships, but they're starting to now turn some of their clients into coaches, and they're starting to build a team, which is really cool. So then we got coaches that had over 500 team volume points in their week leg. So we got Mary Beth Darling, Amy Reelman, Second Business Center, Gage Eckert, Sydney Freeman, Emily Bachlet, Joe Policino, Anne-Marie Vickers, Kelly Marks, Tim Ottaway, Emily Crushore, Stacy Slade, Brooke Reed, Margaret Mackerer, Marie Sardelli, Pete Reelman, and Chris Bachlet. With over 1,000 team volume points in the week leg, Shauna Valenta, Ashley Feld Dyson, my Third Business Center, Charles Wallace, Robert Rodriguez, Alyssa Sardelli, and Wade Kephart. With over 2,000, Amy Morgan and Terry Bachlet. Over 3,000, my Second Business Center, Amy Reelman and Michelle Phillips. Over 5,000 with 9,419, we got Andrea Wallace. Over 10,000, we got myself and my mom, Beth Reelman. So that is your week like team volume. So that's kind of shows you guys when someone asks you, how do you make money as a coach? It's really simple. There's really two ways you earn as a coach. The first is retail commission, people ordering directly from you. And that's kind of where the Success Club points come in. That's kind of the first recognition there. The second way you earn is as you start to build a team of coaches and you start to help them have success, you start to earn a team bonus. That's kind of Beachbody's way of thanking you for being a leader and helping other coaches have success, which is pretty cool. So that is the two recognitions for this week. I'm going to throw it over to my sister Andrea and then Brooke Reed. And they're going to have some of their leaders that were at this retreat this past weekend kind of share some of their top takeaways. And then maybe we'll have some time at the end to ask questions, or you guys can, type your questions in the chat as we go along. All right, I'm going to throw it over to you guys.
All right, thanks, Pat. Hey guys, so like Pat said, I'm Brooke, for those of you who don't know, and like Pat said, Annie and some of her downline were in the Berkshires this past weekend. I think there was like 12 to 14 of us, and it was absolutely so fun, but it was such a great experience because, it was great to be together, and we had some training and we learned a lot from each other, but we did a lot of fun things and we got to know each other. I mean, I went knowing like half the girls and meeting some of them for the very first time, and now I felt like I walked away with some new best friends. So we just wanted to take a few minutes tonight to share with you a couple of our biggest takeaways. But before we do that, Marie has a quick little activity that she shared with us at the retreat that we thought would be really helpful for everybody else to learn about.
Okay, hey guys. So yeah, like she said, we went to the retreat this weekend and it was super amazing. And Annie wanted me to do a little exercise. So last minute I was like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do? And one of these great activities came to mind that I was actually able to do at New Leadership Conference when Carrie Steelman and I were in LA. I think that was January? My months are starting to run together. And so what we did is we started they said, now we're going to make a long to-do list. And everybody kind of got disconnected, like, oh, here we go, all the things that I have to do in a day. And then they stop, and what I want you guys to do is instead of making a really long to-do list to move your business forward, which can be super overwhelming, get on the calls, do your workout. I mean, the list is pretty much endless at times, which really, you should really have a short list. But what I want you guys to do right now is make a list of 5 things that you believe you should stop doing right now. You can shut your eyes and you can visualize it. I'm a paper and pencil kind of person. So I write everything down and then type it later. So go ahead right now and make a list of 5 things that you believe you would stop doing. And I'll give you an example. One of mine would be that I have so much work to do with building this business that I just don't have time to work out. So that would be something that I should stop making that excuse. So go ahead and give yourself a little list that's personal to you, about 5 things, and I'll give you a minute. exactly 1 minute. And okay, all right. So I'm going to ask for just maybe 1 or 2 quick volunteers on that. But real quick, mine were putting off workouts, telling my husband I stopped doing this now, and it really helps. Stop complaining. Like if something goes bad, obviously this business is peaks and valleys. So like I don't tell Tim like, oh my gosh, like 4 people just quit. You know, like he doesn't need to know that stuff, right? So I stopped doing that. Stopped eating bad, putting off doing my follow-ups, and stop not believing in personal development. I guess that would be an old one. So does anybody have, I guess you can unmute yourself. We'll just pick 1 or 2 people to go ahead and share your stop doing list. Or I can just call on someone. Carrie Steelman-Schmidt.
I need to stop watching UK X Factor auditions on YouTube.
Yeah, I can relate to that. Nice. All right. Thank you, Carrie. Erica, Erin Capman. What was one of yours? I said your last name wrong.
That's okay. I said I have to stop rushing everything I'm doing. I find I rush when I'm having conversations. I'm rushing, trying to get to the end. Instead of kind of going on a clear path. So stop rushing my conversations.
Nice. Good. And then we have time for 1 more. Let's hear from Pat.
Awesome.
Realman.
Okay, so I said stop scrolling on social media so much. Stop scrolling Instagram stories and the Snapchat stories. I get caught in that sometimes. Stop not working from a to-do list. Whenever I write a to-do list out the night before, I'm always so much more efficient the next day because I don't have to think about what I'm doing. I just nail it right in order. When I don't have a to-do list, it's a little bit less efficient. Stop watching Jamie Foxx stand up on YouTube. Sometimes I get caught up in that. He's the best. Especially his piano version where he mixes up the songs. Also to not just go through my inbox and respond to all the messages and feel like, I'm done with the inviting part, because I really just responded to everything in my inbox, but I didn't send actual invites to new people, reaching out to see if they'd be interested in, doing a challenge with me. So.
Nice. Thanks, Pat. And I think that the biggest takeaway that from when we did this exercise at our retreat was everybody could kind of agree on that we need to start where we are, get real with where your business is, and start where you are, and just move yourself forward, put those blinders on, and keep going. So that was a little exercise I did. I would definitely try to do that with your team and maybe dive in a little bit deeper with your list as you go forward. Before I pass it on to the next person, I guess I'll just share my takeaways so I don't wait for everybody and then do it again. But the biggest takeaway that I had from the retreat was how awesome it was. Obviously, I'm sure if you guys were following us, you saw tons of our great pictures. And there is something about getting 12 strong-willed leaders, women together in a house for, 3 days. There was something about that and the energy, especially, girls in a house and everybody, sharing their stories, and we were bouncing ideas off of each other, and it was absolutely amazing to be able to do that. And I guess the biggest highlight for me was when we were taking our photos. We all wore black and white, and we were taking our photos, and we were all standing in different spots. And I kind of gave everybody a pose, you had to go here, or 1 foot forward, and you had to pick one of the 3. So it's kind of funny. And then I said you have to look into the distance and have this serious power face. And I know that sounds super creepy right now because it sounds creepy when I say it out loud. But just looking at everybody, because I was scanning the crowd, the intensity and the power in all of these women's eyes was so refreshing to see that. because, you know, when you're by yourself all the time, you feel it, but you feel like a complete weirdo because you're not around people that you can relate to. I know I'm not. When I'm sitting there with the moms just now at competitive cheerleading with my daughter, we're not thinking about the same stuff. I mean, not saying that, but, you know, I can't really, you know, relate to a lot of people. And just seeing that power and that intensity refreshed me moving forward, because I've been, you know, I try to be super positive and I don't put, you know, online struggle emotionally being a coach when I'm trying to recruit coaches. So it was refreshing to see all of the women and the intensity and all of that was so refreshing. So get to live events, because you will connect with others and really, you know, feel that girl power or man power or whatever you're looking to feel. But I felt it. So you gotta, you know, it was awesome. All right. So I guess I'm going to, my face is already feel stupid. Ashley Coyne, do you want to share yours, or Brooke, are you gonna pass that on?
Ashley can.
Okay, awesome. Ashley.
Right, I'm so happy that you shared that. Write down 5 things that you need to stop doing to be more productive. That was actually one of the things I was going to say if you didn't. Along the same line, sort of that Marie said, is that, you know, connecting with people and, you know, getting to events. And if you can't, you know, kind of get to a retreat or something like that because you have something else going on. I mean, how do we connect with all of our challengers and meet other coaches? On social media. So we should be connecting with each other like that too. You know, and sharing ideas. If you have something that works really well for you, maybe it's a new way that you're inviting, maybe it's a new app you found, maybe it's a fun way that you're spicing up your challenge groups. You know, don't be afraid to share that with people. Don't wait for someone to ask you. If you have it, I mean, that's like gold right there. You know, pop it into your coach group. And then, you know, that usually starts other people saying, hey, I really like that idea. I do something similar, but with a little bit of a twist. And then it allows us to have these more creative, you know, I think more creative connections, invites, posts, and just experiences in our challenge groups. So that was a big thing, you know, that every time I go to a live event, it makes me just remember that, you know, the people are, this is why I'm here, is that there are days that are hard. And if I didn't have, you know, other people on this team to ask questions to, or to kind of talk with on those times, or to celebrate with when you're like on top of the world, I wouldn't be lasting in this. So if you're new or you haven't fully connected with somebody yet, that's okay. I mean, like, post yourself up in your coach group, like, hi, I'm Ashley, you know, I'm 29 years old, I live here, I'm looking for this, I love cats, you know, like, share those things like almost like a little ad in there, like, I'm looking to connect with somebody. Find a success partner, somebody that you can really work with. And I would say that is probably my biggest takeaway there, is to connect with people on this team, because that is going to help you grow and your team grow.
Awesome. Thanks, Ashley. I definitely agree with the Success Club or the Success Partner. It's been a game changer for me for sure. All right, Annie, do you want to share?
Sure. So this was one of my favorite retreats that I've ever done. I always say that when I leave an event, but I feel like I always need to connect with the people, because like Ashley said, there's so many amazing people in your coach group, or maybe they're watching you. And then when you meet them by going to Summit, or if you guys go to a local Super Saturday, you can connect with so many people. And we probably said this about 5 times throughout the day, but we were like, you guys get me. Like, you understand why I need to work out and then take like a picture. And you need, like, we just like all got each other. And there was probably like 4 or 5 girls that walked in there and didn't know like one other person, but you felt like you knew each other. And a part of that is because we get on these Zoom calls. You know, they walked in and we just connected really, really good. And so that's why it's always so important to get in your coach groups and just, like Ashley said, like, post an ad, talk, get on Zoom calls with each other, reach out to one another and connect. And so the biggest thing is just remembering why I do this, because all of these girls that came to this retreat, all 15 of them, were at one time a challenger. And so we connected through our challenge groups, and then we met at this group. One of my other biggest takeaways was just some people, like when they got there, they're like, oh, you know, I could never be where you are. But and I felt that way when I go to other retreats, and it's like every single person has the exact same objections or has the exact same struggles, or they're not putting somebody on a pedestal, because when you get there, you're like, I'm like eating salsa and dropping it on my face. And they're like, oh, you know, like she's a real human, you know? And so that was like a big thing for me, was just seeing, like, sometimes I look at Marie and I'm like, oh my gosh, she's doing so well. She's keeping it all together. And she was like so excited to get a challenger and a new coach. And that was like we all have those ups and downs. One of the other things that I really liked that we talked a lot about at the retreat was is building a deep team. So the concept that we always talk with you guys about is the 5 best friends, and they don't necessarily have to be your personally sponsored, but building I'm not a really big recruiter, but I build deep within my downline. So like Marie is 6 coaches down from me. Brooke is like 4 coaches down from me. Like, you guys, if you go in your online office, reach out to those coaches that are in your downline, because they're just as much a part of your team as a personally sponsored coach. So we talked a lot about that, about going deep with your teams, about, connecting with people in your downline. I always love to, if I see a connection between a coach and somebody on our team, I like to put them on a message thread and make sure, that they're maybe they could run a challenge group together, or a sneak peek together. So just seeing like the different personalities mesh together was a big takeaway for me. And then we went over a lot of the new thing is Instagram stories. So we were showing each other how to do Instagram stories, and that's a great way to invite people. So live events, and if you go to your Super Saturday, make sure you're going live through your stories, because that's like fun. People get to know you through those Instagram stories, and there's lots of people on there, and you can actually see who's watching your story, and you can reach out to them. So that's it.
Awesome. Thank you, Annie. And I was actually going to just remind people about the Super Saturday this weekend, or Super Sunday, wherever you are. If you go to the TBB Coach 411 website, you can put in your zip code and find the closest one near you. It's really, really important to get there. Carl himself is coming to Boston, which is awesome. Anne Marie, you want to go next?
Yeah. Hi, guys.
Hi.
All right. So I wrote down a couple things. So the biggest thing, I think, and I feel like every time we go to one of these events that's so important, is to realize that we're all so different. We all have like a common goal, but like my personality might be very different from, Marie, and my personality might be different from Brooke and Annie and all the ladies that were there. We're all motivated by very different things. Yeah, money is one of those things and whatever, but it was funny to kind of talk back and forth. And while one person might say something like, all I need to know is that I want this freedom, and that's like enough for me to build my business. Like, just having that in their heads is their driving force, and that's like enough. Where for me, I want the freedom. Yes, I don't want to go back to teaching, but for some reason, with whatever God gave me, I don't know, I need more. And I think from being such like a competitive athlete my whole life, I constantly need some sort of competition. So I think just kind of acknowledging that that's okay, because, I did the Josh Coach training and kind of killed it for a few months. And then when that competition kind of wore away, I started kind of like this downhill spiral again, and I'm finally back up. August was kind of a shitty month, but I'm back, getting motivated again. And it took really being around all these women to realize like it's okay that you kind of like went through this little bit of a rough patch and just getting back on track. And, I don't know. I just love that we're so different, but yet we're so alike. And it's okay if something motivates you and doesn't motivate someone else. You have to figure out where your motivation is and what's going to get you to that next spot. So the fact that like Ashley Feldison and a couple of Amy Reilman and a couple of the other ladies, Emily Crushore, I know I'm missing people, that are hosting that push to, you know, the end of the year push, that's what got me back on track. I like constantly need something like that. So I have to work on that too, because there can't always be some sort of like competition. And then one other thing that I wanted to share, well, actually 2 quick things. One of them was, it was really funny at the retreat. All I said was, Marie, like, what do you do? And she's like, what? And I'm like, what do you do? Like every day, what do you do? And she's like, you want me to like tell you everything? And I was like, yup. And this was like the night before we left. And I just sat there with like a pen and I just literally wrote down like everything she does. Because I look up to her because I see where she started and what she's been through. Because we've all gone through stuff as coaches, and that she's still just killing it. And I'm like, I want to know what you do. And it was very obvious to me why I'm not all the way up there. Because I'm like, oh shit, I don't do that. Oh shit, I don't do that either. So don't be afraid to reach out to other coaches and just like pick their brain. Like, you know, what are you doing that I'm not doing? I see you're constantly hitting, 1,000 weak leg volume points or 2,000 or whatever, and asking people. And then the one last thing, this was like kind of like piggybacking on how I said, I kind of felt like I was failing in August and just feeling really crappy. But Monday and Tuesday this week, I went to a professional development actually for teaching. And there's this new writing program. And we talked about how important it is for kids to fail and for kids to, make a lot of mistakes. You never want a kid getting 100 on an essay right away. You want them to start at like maybe a 50 or 60 or a 70 and then build goals based on that. So I thought that was so important for us as coaches. Like the failing part of this is so important. And I think last year I had talked a little bit about the book Mad Genius, and I just decided to pick it up today because I have been slacking on my PD, which I've preached is like what you need. And there's like an entire chapter in this book. It's really good if you want to get it. All about, it was funny because I read it today right after this PD where they talked about it, but all about how as entrepreneurs, we need to fail in order to create goals and in order to change what's not working. So I just thought that was pretty cool. If anybody wants the book, it's really good. You should get it. I'll put it in the comment section. I'm done.
Thank you. Thanks, Anne-Marie. Erin, do you want to share?
Hey guys, I just had a couple things. There are so many takeaways that I could just keep talking about. Kind of piggybacking on what everyone else said, that it's okay to ask questions. I felt like I didn't have a lot of confidence in myself or my business. And then asking these ladies for help has been absolutely amazing. Reaching out to people. We all want to help each other. We all want to help people. That's part of the reason why we're in this. And also, real quick, my other one was to find content in everyday stuff. I feel like sometimes I feel like my life is a little boring. I'm a mom of 2. I'm going to the grocery store. It's like not very exciting, but I need to find content wherever I am because there are people out there that can relate to my everyday stuff, as mundane as I think it is. So someone out there will see it and they will relate to it. And so just thinking about that every day, that it doesn't need to be a huge event to be content. That's it. Nothing too big.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing. Okay, I just had a couple of quick takeaways as well. In general, I think it's just, kind of like what Annie was saying in terms of live events. This goes for any live event, whether it's Super Saturday or Summit or something like a retreat. There's just nothing like being together with other people from your team, like who just absolutely get you. Like when I was thinking about the retreat and like thinking about packing and what we're going to do and, what the plan was for the weekend, what the weather is going to be. It's like you think of all that, but what you don't think about is like what's going to happen like behind the scenes, like the one-on-one convos you're going to have with, someone while you're taking that hike, whoever it is you're walking in front of and behind, you just happen to end up talking to them. Or, like in the hot tub, there was a couple, there's just a couple of us and we end up talking about different things. And I like Anne-Marie was saying how she asked Marie, I walked around with my phone all weekend with the notes app on my phone open, and I just took a whole couple sheets of notes of things that Marie said. Just like the randomest, stupidest crap, just that Marie said, just kind of in between like convos here and there. Like, yeah, we had like a formal like training session in the afternoon, but it's really like the things that you get when you're going to get water with somebody at the fountain, whatever, like those in between conversations. So just, don't underestimate live events, because they really are so important. You get so much out of them, and it really fuels your fire and kind of reminds you why you started this, and kind of gives you that push when you go back home. All in all, I think something that I'm working on is confidence as a leader. And, as I kind of make that shift as a leader for my team, and just, being there this weekend and talking to the women, we all kind of talked about our why and our goals. And I kind of almost had like a light bulb go off this weekend in terms of, why I'm not so confident, and made me really think about the things that I can do and kind of how I can perceive, the information and the value that I'm providing to everybody, but specifically to my team. So that was a great takeaway for me. And then there was just, more specific, physical takeaways, things like, I have a lot of challengers in my current challenge group, and a lot of them aren't necessarily on Shakeology HD. They bought Beachbody On Demand a while ago, so that, they're not going to necessarily be buying anything anytime soon, and that's okay. I can have a group for them, but I need to focus my challenge. I need to separate all my people from, people who are active, people who have kind of graduated, who have been in my groups for a while, and people who aren't purchasing anything. They can be in like a free ongoing group. And then just different ways that I can save time, because, I have my own goals, and then I have a team that I really want, that I'm, looking to really, really motivate and support. And so I need to find ways to kind of save time so that I can spend the time that I'm saving on more important things. And so a couple of ideas that I came up with was, I typically do 3 one-on-one getting started right calls with my coaches and my coaches' coaches, whereas a lot of that information can be videotaped, and I can, have a quick one-on-one call at the beginning just to kind of get to know each other, especially if they're a cold market person, and then send them a couple of videos that's very straightforward information that I don't really need to talk to them one-on-one. And then we would have like a 15-minute closure conversation to kind of answer their questions and that sort of thing. So that could save me like 2.5 hours per person, which would be huge. And then one of Marie's things that she does is she has a quick video for prospects. So if she's talking to somebody and she says, would you be open to hearing more about my group? And they say, sure, send me that information. Rather than going back and forth with them like so much, you definitely want to form that relationship and have that conversation and get to know their goals. But some time can be saved there by sending them a quick video that you have made yourself about what your challenge groups are all about, the containers, put them on, do a Zoom video and record it so that you can walk them through your challenge group, things like that. You show them their on-demand account, things like that. And then a quick video, same idea for people once they sign up. So as soon as they sign up, they get their Beachbody On Demand, you can kind of walk them through, what they can kind of expect, so that you can still have those conversations and still have that one-on-one time, but you might be able to save some serious time by, using some of these videos as tools. So those were my takeaways. Jen, can you share?
Hi, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So the downside of going towards the end is that everybody else has kind of said like a lot of the really big takeaways. Okay. But for me, I mean, I've been a coach now for maybe 4.5, 5 months. So I'm really still very new to all of this. And as Brooke keeps reminding me, because it's true, because I think like as a new coach, and I'll kind of give it perspective from that way, you want to jump in and you want to go all in and you are like really excited, and that's great. Like I think that excitement really is going to push you out of your comfort zone to do a lot of the things you need to do and to start hitting success really well. But I think what really helped me and my biggest takeaways from this was that, and I know Annie kind of talked about this, but I was the one who even said to Annie, like, you're on a pedestal and you're like this famous person that I see on a video all the time. And, like I met Beth Reelman, you know, she's like everybody's mom. And that just is like a really cool thing from these live events, is to actually meet people that you see on a screen all the time. And that you like, this is my first time on a team call. And so like, that's cool too. So it's kind of like, this is something that every one of us can do, and you are doing it. So like that for me was just really big coming home with. Another thing that I think was really important was that, and Brooke touched upon this a little bit, is that there are so many different ways to do this business, and there are so many different people that you can look at and watch, and, you know, you can go stalk the top coaches, even just on our team and on different networks. And, you know, everybody is doing such amazing things. And I think for a long time, I was trying to do what everybody else was doing. And I think as a new coach, that's really kind of all you can do in the beginning. So it's nice to have everybody on the team to be able to model from. But I think, you know, coming back from this live event and from this retreat, it's kind of like I got the confidence I think I need to definitely move forward and start to make this business my own. And, you know, there was a point in the conversation, I know Marie, everybody's talked so highly about you because, but, you know, Marie just leaned back in her chair and looked over at me and said, "You're going to be fine." And that was awesome, because I kind of needed that, because we are sitting here behind our computers. We are sitting here alone, for the most part, or you feel alone. And then to, you know, have somebody, and everybody at the table just saying that we're all going to be fine. You're going to make this business what you want it to be, and you're going to do it on your own terms, and you're going to figure it out. But you do, you know, we hear it all the time. It does take time, and you have to give it the time, but you have to put in the time. So, I think that was just really my biggest takeaway, was just, you know, seeing that everybody's start somewhere and that you can do it too. But definitely the more real you are in your business, the more authentic you are, the more fun you're going to have with it, and the better I think you're going to be at it. So that's it.
Awesome. Thank you, Jen. Perfect. And Melissa.
I think she just messaged me that she couldn't get on.
Oh, okay. I think that's it. Oh, and Beth. Sorry, Beth. Is Beth here?
I am there.
Yep.
You're here. Melissa's here too.
I'm
Yeah.
here.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Melissa, you want to share, and then we'll wrap up with Beth?
Yes, mine's going to be quick. Obviously, everybody has already said so many things that I resonate with, but I think one of the biggest things, two things that I took, again, from Marie, was to post objections when you are making your social media posts. That was something that I completely resonated with, because there are times when people will be talking to me and messaging me and not really understand what my personal struggles are with my health and fitness. So, you know, I'm a busy person, so posting about time being a factor. So that's why I choose to wake up early and work out and not make that an excuse. Money, those types of things are all important to use in your post. So I definitely took that away. And then the other one was coming up with our own team name. So the other thing that I've been working on this weekend, and I actually already contacted somebody to put together a logo and all of that stuff. And I'm really excited because it's coming together, and I was able to work with some of the women at the table who I had never ever met before, which was crazy cool, because I felt like I knew them forever after being there. But they helped me come together with a team name and validate everything that I was already currently feeling, and empowered. I walked away empowered after this team retreat this weekend, and really excited and motivated to keep moving forward and push this business in ways that I just imagined, and I just can't wait.
Can you share your team name?
Yes, My Body, My Business.
Love it.
Are you going to do the MB squared? For
MB squared.
Yes. You guys rock.
Awesome. Thank you, Melissa. That was great.
Thank you.
Beth.
Hello. basically everybody took a lot of my takeaways, and Andrea, of course, has the same mind as mine, so she basically said everything I was going to say. So that's we shared a bed, we shared a, you know. So what I wanted to say is that how proud I was of every girl that came to this retreat. They're like girl bosses. They earned this spot. They weren't invited just to come. They had to earn their spot, and each one of them damn well earned that spot. They came with, excitement, but they also are very serious about this business. Their mindset is all in, every one of them. I mean, they got up at 5:36, power hours. You know, we worked out, we had training, we had one-on-ones. Everyone picked everyone's brain, and we had a blast. We had fun, and just like Brooke or Erin said, we're walking the trails, and like Erin, or Jen, I had never met Jen. I guess I did at Summit for a second, but you know how Summit is so different. You really don't get to really build a relationship with people. It's so crazy. So it was just like the chat for one person behind you in the trail, the person in front of you, this person that sat next to you at dinner, over here, up in the shower. We had, we're all over the place. And it's that live event bond and that team boom and this family. And the more live events, the closer connection. But these girls are leaders, and they're just gonna blow this business up. I mean, hands down, no doubt in my mind. And another thing is that we went around the table and we shared like our story, and I guess who is it? So we went around, and all of a sudden Caitlin Welsh said, she shared her age. She's 21. So then we called her, oh, the baby, now we have a baby here, like she's almost the youngest person on Team Boom, I'd say, except for Maddie. That's another one. But so she had a little nickname, and, she was fun with it. She went, and we had 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds, 40-year-olds, and now I don't like to say it, but I'm 60. And so we had 21 to 60-year-olds, and we're all just hanging out, it was just like crazy. And well, I had something else I was going to say. The plan A. And then what Andrea was saying was about building deep in this business. It's crazy. I was sitting there, and I signed up Andrea. Andrea signed up Danielle. Danielle signed up Michelle Phillips. Michelle Phillips signed up Alyssa Sardelli. Alyssa Sardelli signed up Marie Sardelli, Ottawa, and she signed up Michelle Kratz, which I really hadn't really met before. And, we just had these great conversations, and I'm like, that's 6 levels deep, and she has a huge organization. I'm looking at her business, and she's got like almost people that are going to get to Diamond, and how's she going to get to Two's Diamond and open up her second business center? I mean, and that's just a whole nother level. So what I'm saying is Team Boom works. Our system works. It's simple duplication. And like I think Priscilla said, we came here, we don't need to reinvent the wheel. We've got our foundation. Everybody tweaks it. Everybody does it a little different, but we've got a system. It works. Plug people in. Keep it simple. Don't get it complicated. And that's how it can just go from person to person to person. And I have to keep it clean, but I did say hashtag go hard and go deep. And these women go hard.
And one of the things that Marie said at the end of the trip was, I was like, we didn't really do any like huge stand up, like train, this is how you like all this intense stuff like Summit. It was more like the one-on-one conversations. And what she said was, I don't keep it simple. Like the 4 vitals are there for a reason. And what we all have in common is we all do the 4 vitals. We all use Asana, Facebook, Instagram, but we all add our own flair, which was like the cool thing. Like everybody had their own like technique that they did. And we do have to talk a little bit about Beth Reelman's product bar.
Oh yeah.
She literally brought every product possible to the retreat. Hydrate, energize, focus. Like we were drinking Hydrate before we went to bed. Like
Oh yeah.
Energized. Like we were using all of the shake.
Let's consume the products, people.
And a lot of the things like none of us have ever even tried, like Hydrate, like all of these things, and like they're such great products. I got home, and actually the last night after a couple glasses of wine, like 9 of us or 8 of us committed to the ultimate reset, which we're all doing. So there's so many amazing, it's all about the products and the people. And that was like one of the cool things at the end.
Yeah. I think I had 9 servings of Hydrate on Saturday.
Works like a charm though, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, Marie had us drinking it at 1:30 in the morning, like 3 scoops.
That's the last of our list. Do we want to try to do a couple questions if there's any?
Sure.
We can. If people want to, you can type it in the chat or you can just unmute yourself.
If not, let's talk about GoPro.
Mm-hmm.
Pat?
I think we recruited a couple of people at the retreat.
Yeah, we have 4. We have 4 more.
That are coming to GoPro?
Yeah.
I mean, listening to calls like this is like a huge reason that people would want to get off the fence and come to GoPro. You get to like be surrounded by a bunch of these women that you just got to hear from. So, I mean, I always said, like, if I ever win the lottery, I'm still going to all the events. Like, to me, it's like some of the most fun weekends of the year. Like, I'm bummed sitting here listening to you guys talk about this. Like, I wish I was there. I'm sure you guys, there were some conversations you had that you wouldn't have wanted me there based on some of the things I'm hearing about the hashtags and going deep and hard and all that stuff. But yeah, GoPro is November 16th through the 18th. It's in Vegas. The tickets are like $600 online, but I bought a ton in bulk. I bought like 100 of them. So they're only $320. And my dad booked a bunch of rooms, like reserved a bunch of rooms that are only like, I think it's $400 for all total for all 3 nights. And if you like jam in with some other people, it'll be even less than that. So that starts, what is that? That's from now 2 months, right? Is that right? 2 months from now?
Yeah, the rooms are for 3 nights. If you have 4 people in the room, it's $100 for the whole weekend, including Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So if you have like 5.
And you're gonna like, you guys talked about like, you know, you guys showed up and Annie's got like salsa falling out of her mouth onto her pants and God knows what everyone else is doing. These people are just real. Like, people that aren't real aren't successful. The only people that are successful are the people that other people relate to and want to be around. So they're real people. So you notice that when you go to this event. When you go to the GoPro event, you're going to notice that same thing about these people that are making 7-figure incomes. Either making $1 million a year, $2 million a year. If you pull them aside, and trust me, you'll be able to pull them aside at these events, and they'll take time to talk to you, you'll realize that they're human. They're human. They have doubts. They have fears. They have insecurities, sometimes even more than most people. They didn't know what the heck they were doing when they started. So like you guys were saying, I think you guys did a great job of talking about the little cracks in between the actual trainings. Sometimes are more powerful than the trainings, more powerful than actually listening to the guy or the girl on stage. You get to have conversations and connect and build relationships with these people. Every time I've had a big, huge boom in my business is because I've left an event. And listening to you guys makes me really jealous that I missed this one. But I'm excited. You know, we got 2 months to the next one, and we turned it into like a team boom event. Like, there's, I think, 40 of us going so far. I have a ton more other tickets for the rest of the people that can make it there. But we're going to spend a ton of time together outside of the trainings. We'll sit together, and then after in between the trainings and things, and at night we'll all hang out and get to know each other and connect. You guys know, you guys shared that. Like, my mom, one thing I remember her always saying was, if you don't have connections with other people in this business, you're not going to be here 1 year from now. You've got to build those connections, those relationships with other people on the team. That's what's going to make it fun and keep you around long enough for the success and results to really show up. And it just makes it more fun in general. You get to hang out with all these crazy weirdos like me and the rest of us. So, but that's, if you guys are interested in that, you can message me, or you can just go to the GoPro website. I can post it in the comments. There's a video that does a great job of kind of explaining. Tony Robbins is going to be one of the speakers. If you guys haven't seen him in person, he is by far, in my opinion, the best of anybody I've ever heard speak, and I've heard everybody. So he's going to be one of the speakers. I'm sure you guys are excited about Pitbull. I think he's actually going to be pretty good from some of the things I've heard. And then Brendan Bouchard and Bob Proctor, Eric Worre, obviously, and a bunch of these other, 7-figure earners that are going to be up on stage sharing their top stuff, and then the rest of the team, boom, chilling, hanging out together. So definitely got some extra tickets left for 320. If that's too much and you want to negotiate price, I'm open to it. So let me know. But would love to have you guys there for sure. It's going to be a blast. I think my whole family's going. Both my sisters, my parents, and I'll be there, and aunts and uncles, and we got the crew. We got the whole crew going. It's going to be a blast. So hope you guys can get there. Does anybody else have any questions for these rock star warrior women here? It'd be cool. I'd be interested to see the video that Marie made to send to her prospects about kind of explaining what a challenge group, what a group looks like. I don't know if
I agree. I was going to ask the same thing. I think that would be really great to see both her videos, both of them.
Yeah,
Marie
maybe.
and Rockstar.
Marie, would you mind sharing them in the Boom Fam?
Yeah, I can definitely share mine. And actually, Carrie Steelman, you have a really good one too. It's a little shorter. Mine is if you're really into graphics, I have a basic one I can post, and then hers has like a lot of cool things that jump in it, so you can kind of see, the two sides of different ideas. So maybe you could put yours in there too, Carrie, would be awesome.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah.
And get to live events.
Sorry, go ahead. I think someone was talking.
No, I was just gonna say, and just get to live events. Even if you don't have time off from work, I know it sounds terrible, but most of us were saying we would have never gotten to where we were if we just didn't say, hey, I'm going.
We had a couple people that had to not be in any photos on Friday because they skipped school.
Nice.
We won't mention names.
The first event I went to was in LA, and I was living in Boston, and I had to pay for the flight and the ticket, and I was going by myself alone, and I was like, it was so much money, but for whatever reason, there was something in me that forced me to do it, even though I had every reason not to go. And if I hadn't done that, I probably would still be sitting in a cubicle doing accounting right now. So the events, there's an event this coming weekend all over the country. There's small little events. Hopefully there's one that's pretty close to you guys that are easy to get to. I don't know if someone can share the link for people to click on to put in their zip code to find the one closest to them. But those are awesome events too. Again, you get to connect with other coaches. Like a bunch of you women were saying that when you got there, it was just so nice to be around other people that just got you. And that's why it's cool to go to these Super Saturday events, because maybe they're not from your team, but they're coaches and they're doing something that's a little different than everyone else. Like they're doing something that's helping them grow. They want to help other people get stronger, build a business. That's kind of rare. When you get to go to an event like Super Saturday, like the one you guys went to, all of a sudden you're surrounded by all these people that think like you, and it validates what you're doing, and it just makes it more fun. So I would definitely do whatever you can to get to a Super Saturday. Some of them are on Sundays this week. It's this coming weekend, and get out of your comfort zone and talk to some of the people that are there. Get in the Facebook group for your local area, and reach out. Go to lunch with some of these coaches. That was another game changer for me back in the day. My dad posted a link that's at the networkmarketingpro.com/GPRM. He shared it in the chat. That's a video that tells you kind of what a Vegas event is about, which is cool. So that's something to check out for sure.
And I will say, Pat, that I think everybody can say this, going to your first live event. I mean, I can still remember it 5 years ago, flying to Summit 4 months post-baby, on unemployment. I was scared out of my mind. I didn't know, besides my family and stuff, but going to a Super Saturday where I didn't know anybody. I mean, even Mel and Tiffany, two of my coaches, driving 2.5 hours to stay in a house with 15 girls for 3 days. they were scared, but it's something that you have to do to get outside of your comfort zone. And going to a Super Saturday, you might not know anybody, but that's how you get to that next level, is getting over your fear. You might, of going there, and that's where you learn. So.
And another thing we did discuss is I forgot to say this, was there's your join date and there's your start date. So when we went around the room and we shared stories, some people started right out of the gate. So, that's awesome. Like, you get it. You're, like, got to Diamond in 6 weeks. I think it was Michelle Kratz, and just keeps blowing the business apart. Then there's other people that join, but they're just kind of, like Pat said, up and down the escalator, kind of watching, and then they beat themselves up, like, I can't do it, or I'm not doing it, so I can't do it. There's never a time that you can't have your start date, so why not have it be today? It's like, we're here, we're a team, we're awesome, we're going to go pro, we're going to this event, we're going to that event, everybody's here to help anyone has any messages, text them, just get on board and start, quit making excuses and just do it. Just do it.
I love that. We're here. We're a team. We're awesome. Yeah, that's our new catchphrase. We're here. We're a team. We're awesome. All right, cool. So, does anybody else have any questions? We usually try to close this thing at like sharp 9 o'clock.
Hey, Pat.
Yeah.
We were just texting. We wanted to shout you out for doing that live call today.
Oh, right.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
That was really awesome.
Thanks, I appreciate that. I was like, they asked me to do it, and I was like, Beachbody Champions page? Okay. I went in there, and I looked, and there was like 84,000 people in the group, and I'm like, oh, wow, this is a little bigger than I think I've ever done before. It's funny, like, how you have like a comfort zone, and then you're nervous to go outside of it, and then once you do, you're like, okay, I got that. And then something else comes that's a little bit bigger, and you got to like take another step, and you're like, okay, I got that. But that's what continues to make you grow. So 84,000 people in there. So I was like a little nervous, but it was cool. Like, I was glad. I kind of, in my mind, whenever I'm talking to a group like this or a bigger group like that, and this is a tip for you guys, like, I can either be focused on myself and how I look and how people think, or being focused on what people think of me, or I can come from my heart and focus on how I can be in service to others. That's something actually I was talking to Yoli about today. Like, and so when I went into that call this morning, I just said, you know what, I'm going to go in there for them. It's not about me and how I look or how I come off to them. It's about what I can do, what I can share that's worked for me that might resonate with them, that might help them. And I also wanted to make sure that I gave like Team Boom a big shout out and let them know that having a team that's more like a family has been probably the most powerful thing in this whole journey. And the reason why we have so many successful coaches on this team is because we are so tight. We do get to the events, and when we go to the events, we do spend all the time together. We're pretty much inseparable. And I think that's something that's very rare in Beachbody. So, but yeah, thanks for the shout out. That was really cool. I'm sure some of you guys are going to start getting asked to do some of those things. So that's going to be
next goal, national wake up call, Pat.
Yeah, national wake up call. That'd be another one outside of the comfort zone that I have to, do my PD to get ready for that one. But yeah, big things coming for Team Boom. Kind of like just starting to get on the radar. So bigger and bigger things to come, which is cool. I'm pumped. All right, let's end it with a boom on 3, and then let's get out of here. First Tuesday night call, huge success. I'm excited. Let everyone know we're going to keep going Tuesdays, 8 p.m. Eastern. We'll get more and more people on here. And
next week, Carrie has a really great speaker. She was actually on the National Wake Up Call.
Oh, sweet.
A couple weeks ago. So
awesome. Tuesdays, 8 p.m. Eastern. Let's do it. All right, boom on 3. See if I'm going to unmute everybody quick here. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Boom! Yeah. That was
Good job, everyone.
Oh, that was awful.
Sounds like a dookie boom.
My kids are sleeping. I have to do a whisper boom.
Everyone, like the rhythm was a little off on that one. But we'll get it next time.
Good job, ladies.